Hey, I'm Forrest Parker. I'm with Trenchant Analytics. I'm a systems engineer, and I'm excited to talk about software-defined radio today. It's one of my favorite sensors that's included in our STEMx STEM kit. It can also be standalone, so you can use this sensor to build uh, a software-defined radio that listens to local radio stations, catches emergency broadcasts, or even hears the local air flights over your school or neighborhood. You're gonna be able to see those flights and all the information about them, and all with this simple antenna and software-defined radio that just plugs right into your computer or Raspberry Pi. So this is what we're gonna show off today. So you're just going to unpackage the software-defined radio provided. This one specifically is NooElec with the antenna that you see here. Not too beefy of an antenna, but it's going to get the job done for us today. So once you have those set up, hopefully near a window of some kind. I have a window right here just off screen that I'm going to set my antenna up in. And that is listening to the signals in the air around us, right? It's going to pull down radio signals, signals from planes like I mentioned. And all we need to do is make sure that we have the right drivers and software running on our computers or Raspberry Pi, and we're gonna be able to soak in that data and do anything we want with it. It's really cool. So just like I showed those couple screenshots there, let's jump in and get this running in just a few minutes. So I'm working with Windows today. So whether you have a MacBook or a Raspberry Pi, it might be a little different, but this is the Windows walkthrough. So the first thing we're gonna do is set up a folder. Call it whatever you like. Mine's going to be called SDR Challenge. And we're going to go to airspy.com/download, and we're going to pull down SDR Sharp. This is a very beloved piece of open source code that allows you to visualize these radio frequencies as they come in. And we're going to listen into a local radio station here in my area. So we're going to start by downloading this SDR Sharp. And let's look at that in our downloads and move it into our SDR challenge folder. So I'm going to hit Control C on this and go to my desktop. I have an empty SDR challenge folder here. I'm going to paste that video in, that SDR Sharp, and I'm going to extract that. So right click, extract all, and I have a prompt on a different screen, making sure I want this in my SDR challenge folder. Extract. Yours probably won't have that little number on the end. That's just because I've done this before, so that file's somewhere else on my computer. So don't let that distract you. And that zip drive, it has a lot of what we need, but we can't dive right into SDR Sharp first. We need to get the proper drivers running. So we are going to open up this file right here, install RTL SDR. So run that. What that's going to do is run a quick script. Don't be alarmed by this popping up. It's just giving us the files and driver install wizard that we need. So these pop up. They look really cool. Let's just hit any key to continue. That goes away. And now we're going to run this Zadig executable file here. I know this is a lot of clicking and following, but it's going to be worth it. Just boot up this Zadig. And I'm getting just a prompt to make sure that we want to allow Zadig to run on our computer. We're gonna hit yes, and then there's Zadig. It's not much to look at, but it's really cool because it allows us to run drivers that allow us to work with software-defined radio. So I have my SDR plugged in, and you're gonna want to make sure that you go to options here and list all devices, because it might not be the first device that pops up. Then you're gonna scroll down. Mine is called Bulkin Interface 0. Yours may come up with a different name, maybe RTL 2838. Something along those lines, but you might have to do a little Google Kung Fu here to figure that out, but this is what mine loads as, and likely will be what yours loads as if you're using our SDRs. So I'm going to click on that. So that's my SDR. It's connected, and we're going to install this driver. Yours likely says install driver, but like I said, I've done this before, so it is telling me I can reinstall it, and I'm just going to click on that. That should take about a minute to load, depending on your computer that you're working with. So we're going to let that load. Our software-defined radio is really neat. You're going to see a bunch of frequencies that we're going to be able to click on and listen to. And this is a really good intro to how to have real-world sensors that you can set up in your bedroom or in a school environment, at a lab or that kind of thing. And you're going to be able to we have different sensors in the kit as well. So this is a little teaser while this driver loads that we have computer vision cameras. So you can set up cameras, maybe over a parking lot or a busy street, and read license plates or do object recognition, run the AI, that kind of thing. So check out our STEMx.app website if you want to learn more about all the sensors and little projects we can do together. So that driver was installed successfully. Fantastic. So now we are going to run SDR Sharp. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize Zadig and jump back into that extracted folder that I had. And let's run SDR Sharp. So Windows is protecting us, but I'm going to hit more info and run anyway. I'm not worried about SDR Sharp giving me any nasty viruses. So SDR Sharp is loading right now on my screen next to me. So I'm just going to pull this one up and across. This is a pretty neat interface, I think. It feels like we're on pirate radio here and listening into stuff we shouldn't, even though it's just public radio. So the source, I'm going to down select and go down to my RTL SDR USB. There's a lot of options here. Don't get too lost in it. And I'm going to tune in. So this is just like the old style tuners. We're going to tune our radio down to 97.1 is a good local station, I believe. And let's see if we can hear the radio station. So I have the wide frequency there, and I'm going to make sure I'm going to configure my settings. There's a drop-down list. I have the RTL that I need selected. There's different settings. We're not going to mess with them right now. Let's listen in and see if our SDR is running and picking anything up. All right. So we probably all know that's Mariah Carey, but it's also telling us that in the metadata here that's coming across. So the radio is picking up the song, and it's picking up the metadata that this is Always Be My Baby by Mariah Carey. It's live. I have no idea what song's going to come on, but this one's not bad for just shooting in the dark. So I'm going to mute the music, but that is running in the background. You can tune into other radio stations and explore your new SDR. You've built this pretty quickly here, so you're on your way to becoming a signals engineer or systems engineer. There's a lot that we can continue doing with this, but this is the first step, so congrats.